PC leadership Doug Ford is raising some eyebrows today, asking the Tories once again to extend voting for another week. He also wants the Tories to get rid of the electronic voting and go back to the paper and pen voting system, although voting for a new leader began days ago. But those aren't the only Ford comments that are raising eyebrows. Twice over the past 2 days, first in Windsor and then earlier today in London, he's told reporters that he wants to see minors have parental permission before getting an abortion. I don't know why politicians are afraid to talk about this. You have to give a note to your kids when they're 12 and 13 years old to go on a field trip. You have to approve even getting their tonsils out. But you don't have to approve, and you can keep an abortion secret with a 12 and 13-year-old? I don't know too many parents that would approve any of their kids going on a field trip without their knowledge. I don't see anyone ever approving an operation on their children when they're 12 or 13 years old without approval.
It seems to me that Doug Ford has no understanding of the laws, the history, or the practices of the people of Ontario, much less the people of Canada. And I would say we have a very important foundation of doctor-patient privilege in this country and in this province, and that has been working quite effectively for teens in need. And I would think very carefully before violating doctor privilege, and also a system that's working quite well between patients and doctors.
Cases like these are usually governed by doctor-patient confidentiality. A minor may need parental consent for many things, but consent for treatment or a medical procedure isn't one of them, according to policy from the College of Physicians and Surgeons of Ontario.
For the entire PC party, it's a political tool. Elliott said, I'm pro-choice, but I welcome other people of conscience to bring forward legislation or motions as they see fit. So I think all the candidates are trying to sort of have their cake and eat it too.
John Wright has spent decades working in market research and says bringing up a lightning rod issue like abortion could simply be a savvy move for a politician trying to woo voters.
Mr. Ford's playing a very savvy game. He's not really talking about abortion. He's really talking about parental consent, and that ties into the whole parental consent around the sex education curriculum issue. He may get labeled as the politician that's opening the abortion debate, but if you actually look at it from a social conservative's point of view, that's not where he's gone.
Wright says Ford is trying to shore up second ballot support and is trying to persuade social conservatives to make him their second pick after right-wing contender Tanya Granick-Allen.
The whole point of leadership conventions nowadays is the cascading vote. So you can be ahead on the first vote, but it's the second and third one that probably puts you over the line. And I think everybody is trying to play that game. But I think Mr. Ford has a much better shot at it because he is seen as a more social conservative kind of person.
Taylor says it's a dangerous game and that women and their reproductive choices could be the ones to lose in a battle they never really asked to be part of.
It's interesting because he said, I'm pro-life, but I'm not opening up, but I would welcome other people in my caucus to open up the question of the legality of abortion. And that doesn't strike me as leadership. And also, it's not about what you personally believe, it's about what the electorate wants to do with their own bodies.
Meanwhile, PC party members will continue to cast their ballots for their pick for leader. Voting is scheduled at this point to end on Friday, with a new leader set to be announced on Sunday.